We have Motoko Hunt coming up next.
Yes, hi. Can you
Hello.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
We're thrilled to have you here today. And your session is Paid Search in Japan and Biggest Mistakes Non-Japanese Advertisers Make. I'm intrigued. I can't wait to hear more about this.
Great.
She is president of International Search Marketing Consulting. Let's
All
get
right.
started.
Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me see. Okay. And do I see? Can you see okay? Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Looks great.
Yep. So let's start. So, just a quick introduction about my company. It's AJPR. We started in '98 and offering both SEO and PPC related services, search marketing services, mainly targeting Japanese market and as well as other parts of Asian market. All right, so the next one, so where you advertise in Japan, as far as the search engine market share goes right now, this is one of the data, and then different data shows slightly different percentage shares, but Google, Yahoo Japan, and Bing, those are the three most popular search engines in Japan. Um, on the mobile side, Yahoo has a little more the market share. And it's really due to the fact that Yahoo Japan is the default search engine on some of the mobile phone, smartphone sold in Japan, and then that's really one of the reason for that. Where else you can advertise? The desktop wise, that Twitter is really popular on the social media side, followed by YouTube and Facebook. Instagram is really becoming popular. And as you can see here on the mobile, keep going backwards, the Pinterest and Instagram increases the market share. And on Google, this is all messed up. Sorry about that. On the search engines, so the Google Japan and Yahoo Japan are the two of the most popular search engines as we saw. There's a distinctive differences between the users on the Google and Yahoo Japan. People tend to go to, the Google, just like we do in the States, to search for the information, and look for the answers. The people go to Yahoo Japan because Yahoo Japan is a portal, not really just search engine. So they go to Yahoo Japan for many different reasons. Read the news, entertainment, watch the video, do the shoppings, and all these different reasons, and then people tend to stay there much longer because they're not just go there to do the one search and then leave. And then the user trend wise, user profile wise, the Google tends to have the more professional and work-related searches done. On Yahoo, people tend to search for entertainment information, shopping informations, um, because Yahoo's travel booking service is very popular in Japan. They do a lot of the travel searches on the Yahoo Japan too. So based on your user profile or target audience profile, you probably want to, consider the budget allocations and then things like that. On the Google ads, you can pretty much apply what you know with the Google campaign you're running in the States or wherever you are now. The setup is the same thing. You don't have to create a separate account to run a Google Japanese ad campaigns. You can just simply add the Japanese campaign to the existing Google ad account that you have already, which makes things easier for the reporting and then, budget monitoring and things like that. On the Yahoo Japan side, you do have to set up the campaign account with Yahoo Japan. This is where one of the things, the mistakes or misunderstanding I see happening in a non-Japanese country is that people, have the campaign set up for Yahoo or Bing in the States, for example, and then when they check the box to show ads in Japan, they think that their ads is showing up in the Yahoo Japan, which is not the case. You do need to have the campaign account set up with Yahoo Japan. They're getting better at it, providing the information, campaign setup information in English. Many of the information related to different advertising products in English too. So it's becoming easier for non-Japanese businesses to run ads on the Yahoo Japan platform. This is the high level, the differences between Google ads and Yahoo Japan ads. As you know, on Google, you cannot show ads, the display ads on a Google site. But there, if you run display ads, your ads will show on many of Google's partner sites, including a business and private sites like someone's blogs. Whoever sign up for the Google AdSense, your ads might show up. On Yahoo Japan, your ads can show up on display ads can show up on Yahoo Japan websites, as well as any of their portal sites. The good point is that if you are running ads targeting a travel audience, you can specify your display ads to be showing up, displayed on the Yahoo travel pages. So that the people go there to search for booking on the travel through the Yahoo travel, your ads will show up there too. Another difference is on the Yahoo Japan, they don't have many of the partner sites. Mostly your display ads opportunity is to do with their Yahoo Japan websites. And then also some of the business specific business partner sites. With Google, you can do the, upload the audience list and then do the targeting that way. Because of the Yahoo Japan, most of the audience, their users log into Yahoo Japan account. Their interest match works really well. They know their audiences, and then people spend a lot of time watching videos and different contents, consuming different content, so they understand the audience interest really well. So these are some of the main or most popular or common mistakes or the challenges that we see all the time with non-Japanese companies running a campaign in Japan. One is the keywords. Oftentimes what they do is, here is the English keywords list, send it to the translation companies. They will translate keyword one-to-one. One English keywords will come back as a one Japanese keyword, which is the correct keywords. But in reality, each of those English keywords could be translated into multiple Japanese words. And then many of these are also, as popular as whatever the words that the translator picked to list on your keyword list. So when this happens, you miss out of that business opportunities. If you are using the first, the Japanese word for accelerometers, and then not bidding against these two, you could be missing out of as much as half or even more of the search opportunities. So it's really important to do that keyword research for the Japanese market. On the other hand, there is a cases that multiple English words you have on the list could only translate it into one Japanese word. For example, Japanese, we don't have that plural and singular forms in nouns. So orange or oranges both become one word for orange. Misspelling is another tricky one. Many companies include a misspelling on their keyword list. Those are not misspelling that the Japanese audience might be using. If you have the company name or product numbers or service names, those are, also used and searched in Japan in alphabet or the numbers, then definitely use that, include a misspelling in your keyword list. But again, because of those reasons, keyword research in Japan, you can definitely based on your, English keywords, but expand that keyword research from that list. Popular or interest could be different. I think Joe was mentioning how the gardening is becoming popular right now because many of the people, staying at home in the States. And then that's what we see on the graph on the left. Definitely, the much more interest compared to the same time last year in the States, but in Japan, not so much. There is definitely the uptick in spring months, but that's pretty the same level of the seasonality. It's really because, many people don't have that huge garden like, backyard like we do in the States. So the gardening is becoming popular in the spring, but not as much. Nothing, because of the COVID-19 impact. This is also the, the interest difference showing with the example of the top selling cars in States versus Japan. In the States, last year, the most popular cars were big off-road, the truck. But in Japan, because of that, gasoline cost is expensive. And the roads are, a lot narrower than what we have in the States. So people prefer compact and eco-friendly cars. Then you might want to adjust your ad copy if you're selling the cars. Instead of pushing a big, muscular vehicles, you might want to push the eco-friendly points in the ad copy. Word count limits is different. So in relation to translating your ad copy from English to Japanese, because Japanese languages or Japanese characters, just like with Korean or the Chinese characters, it's a double byte characters, means it will take up 2 character space compared to the alphabet or the, the numbers. So if the, ad headline character limits for alphabet or English is 30, description is 90, that means that you can only fit 15 Japanese characters in the headline and then 45 Japanese character in the descriptions. So when you send the ad copy in English to the translation companies, the translation will come back to you, but that might be way out of the character limit, and then it doesn't work. Yahoo Japan has a slightly different character limit too. So Uh, that means that you cannot, translate the ad copy for Google Ads and then recycle that for Yahoo Japan, then your description will be way too long. So you need to adjust that too. Keyword become too long when you translate into Japanese. This is really related to the double byte characters, and some of the words might become much longer than the English character count. The gardening 9 character space in alphabet or English words, but in Japanese that's the 6 character word, which takes up to 12 character space. If you look at the smartphone case, 15 characters in English and then 10 character in Japanese, but it's really taking up to 20 of the character space in terms of alphabet count. But instead of the smartphone case, you can use the smaho case in Japanese, which means the same thing, which has a lot less word count. So again, that if you present, or provide the word count that you want the translator to use and stick to when they translate the ad copies, that might be helpful too. On the other hand, it's not always the long way. Sometimes it becomes way too short when it's translated into Japanese. The lunchbox 9 characters becomes 3 character Japanese word, which takes up 6, the character space in alphabet. Shoes become only 1 word, right? So when this keeps happening in one ad copy, you might think that you are taking up like 80 to almost 90 character limit with the ad copy, which has a really good visibility on the search results space. But it become maybe 1 line or 1.5 line, and it doesn't look as effective as competitors' ad copy. So again, once it's translated, you really need to review that. Of course, the best way to do it is not using a translation company. Work with the ad copy editors who understand the Japanese language and the Japanese audience, and also that do the local competitor research to make sure that your ad copy stands out against the competitors. Budget allocation, this is another area that you should definitely pay attention to. Video conference software. I saw the 4 ads showing up in Google, which means that you probably want to allocate good budget to go after the search audience. In Japan, I didn't so for the same word, meaning of the word in Japanese for video conference software, there was no competitors. Means that you don't have to allocate as much budget for the specific keywords or specific keyword groups. So do the keyword research, audience research for the Japanese market, and work on your budget allocations accordingly. Another area, and this is actually the very important area because the landing page is where your, whoever click your ads will convert, right? Everybody knows, probably aware that numbers and contact informations and things like that should be localized with what the local audience is familiar with. So price and currencies and lengths and metrics in Japan. So instead of the pounds, use the kilograms or but one thing that people tend to overlook is the conversion form. Lead gen, this is a very important area, but the name orders and address orders is completely different in Japanese. So that if you just localize English or American sign-up form in Japanese and the field name might be in Japanese, but the order is completely different. And also the problem happens when they type the address in Japanese characters, it doesn't fit in a form because many people, the address is much, much longer than English addresses. So it doesn't fit in a form. And then they can, complete the form and then they can sign up your whatever you are trying them to convert. So it's really important to test and make sure your form is working for them. Once the campaign kicked off, it's important to maintain, and then some of the database number-based work you might be able to do in-house, but definitely outsource language-based work related to copy updates, keyword updates, negative keywords, researching the local trend, so that your campaign will be keep staying effective. The next one is summary of what we just talked about. I think it's the end of the time for me. So I will take questions if there is any. Otherwise, I think we can go into everyone's Q&A.
We do have a question.
Yep.
Which ads perform better, the ones set up in Japanese or those in English? That's from Alex Velanov.
Yeah, so if you're targeting Japanese audience, they search in Japanese keywords, and then not many people in Japan as fluent in English. So, if you really, want them to convert for you, the ad copy needs to be in Japanese, landing page should be translated into Japanese. Keywords should be what people in Japan are searching for, which is, likely Japanese language, like Japanese word. Exceptional brand terms and then product names. If it's popular, people in Japan are searching your company name in English, then you can just, definitely add that to the keyword list. But ad copy should be in definitely translated into Japanese. Or you might be running a campaign, but it's not going to be effective at all against the Japanese audience. And then, I think many company hesitate to localize the entire, whole website into Japanese at the beginning without knowing how the audience react to your service or product. Paid campaign, I think, is the great way to test the market because you just need to have the one landing page, right? A couple of landing pages and in Japanese, and then Japanese ads, and then Japanese keywords research, and then you can run the campaign to see how the Japanese audience react or like your products or services. And then if that does really well, then that will give you the proof that Japanese market is somewhere that your company should pursue. So I think paid campaign is a good way to test that market.
Sounds good. You have a compliment from Eleanor Hong.
Uh-huh.
She says, "Thank you. Great example of missteps regarding keyword translations and how they really aren't the popular common terms."
Oh, great. Thank you.